Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to Atlanta Grill Company. Today I've got a 13 1/4 pound Boston butt, and we're going to smoke that guy on the Napoleon Prestige Pro 500 gas grill. So let's get started. Okay guys, here is the star of our show, and this thing is a monster. It is 13.59 pounds. It's a little over 13.5 pounds. I got this guy on sale for 99 cents a pound. I don't normally buy butts this big, but here we are. So I've gone ahead and seasoned this guy up liberally. What I've done, I've made a 50-50 mix here of the Man Cave Meals AP Mojo and Pork Mojo from Atlanta Grill Company, and I've seasoned this butt nicely with that. I've put plenty of that on there, and I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes to bind, and then we're going to wrap it up in plastic. So I've got this guy wrapped up tightly in plastic. It's going back in the refrigerator for about 12 hours or so before I'm ready to cook. If you can do this 24 hours or even 48 hours in advance, do it. Okay, this morning before we get started, I want to show you how I'm going to set up the Napoleon to do a Boston butt. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the warming rack out, and then I'm going to pull both of the grill grates out. And we are only going to cook today using the outside burners. And I want to use a drip pan here because of the amount of grease that is going to be produced by this pork butt. So I'm going to take those flavorizer bars out, and I'm going to set my drip pan right here over the burner tubes where I can position my pork butt right over that and let most of the drippings fall into there. And I'm also going to pull off one of these and replace it with my smoker box where I can generate smoke over on this side of the grill. And just for ease of access, I'm only going to put one of our grill grates back in. I'm going to put it right in the middle. That way I've got easy access over here to our smoker box. And after I have that set up, I'm going to light up the outside burners and turn them down low. And then I'm going to close the lid, and we're going to let our temperature up here on this thermometer come up to around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's going to be a perfect temperature for our cook today. So we're going to let the grill warm up. Okay, I've got my grill up to temperature. So I'm going to open the lid, and we're going to take this butt and set it right on the middle of that grill grate. And the next thing I'm going to do is load up my smoker box, which we've got here over on the left side of the grill. And I'm not going to load it fully. I'm going to take some pellets and put them right here in the middle. And just like that. And as we go, I'm going to add more smoke to those, or I'm going to add more pellets as needed, rather than put the entire load in there. I am also going to use my fireboard to monitor the temperature of this pork. And just for giggles, I'm going to monitor the temperature of the grill as well, just by clipping my ambient probe right up there above the top of that meat. And then I'm going to run through the rotisserie slot with those wires, and then just close the grill up. Here you can kind of see the setup of how I've got my fireboard run in. I've got it run in around behind the motor plate for the rotisserie, and then going in through the rotisserie gap here, so you can see how that's going. And after just a few minutes, I've got some nice smoke rolling from this smoker box here. And I forgot to show you that I put the lid back on the smoker box, and you're going to have to kind of play around with the burner setting over here, because you don't want to just ignite those and let them burn off. Okay, periodically through this cook, you're going to want to come in here and add some more smoke source. And these pellets I've put in there have about burned out, so I'm going to load some more in there, and we're going to put that lid back on and let that start smoking. We're a little over an hour and a half into our cook here, and I'm also going to occasionally give this guy a spritz. Keeping the exterior of this pork butt moist will help that smoke adhere to the meat. So we're going to do that probably once an hour as we go here. We've been going about 6.5 hours here, and I'm pretty happy with the way the bark looks on this. And the internal temperature, we're at about 172 degrees internally. So at this point, I'm going to take the thermometers out for a moment, and I'm going to take this guy off. We're going to double wrap it in aluminum foil and then bring it back to finish it. And one other thing I wanted to note here, I've had a little difficulty taming this smoke box on this cook, and what I ended up doing was, since we're done with the smoke box, I'm going to go ahead and pull it off. I brought it back off and I put the flavorizer bar back in place where there was a little bit of a shield between the smoke box and the flame, because I had trouble keeping my pellets from igniting, and I have the same sort of issue with wood chips, so that helps it. So, but anyway, just so you'll be aware of that, that's where we are. So let me wrap this guy up. So I've got that wrap back up, and I've got my thermometers back in place. So we're just going to let this guy continue to cook until my internal temperature on that meat gets up to around 200, and we'll start checking again for tenderness. Okay guys, we've been going right at 8 hours, and the temperature, the internal temperature on my pork here is right at 200 degrees according to my fireboard. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to go ahead and pull these thermometers out. We're done with those, and all I'm interested in now is feeling the tenderness of the meat and checking it, getting it down to that probe tender level that we like for a perfect cook on a pork butt. So I'm going to open that up a little bit, and I know we're not there yet. We're not far from it. This guy actually is really close. That's closer than I'm used to seeing at 200 degrees. So back here, right in here, we're still a little tense with that. I'm going to wrap that back up, and we're probably going to give this 20 more minutes or so, and that's probably all it's going to take, 20 to 30 minutes. So we'll close that back up and be back shortly. Okay, we're at about the 8.5 hour mark. I've let this go for another 30 minutes here, and I think, oh yeah, this guy's super tender. All right, what I'm gonna do is put the wrap back on this, and we're gonna get it up off of the grill and put it in our cooler, where we're gonna let it rest for 2 hours at least. And while I've got that resting, I'm gonna go ahead and yank the grill grate off and set it aside for a moment. And this is all we've got to clean up here. We've got this bit of dripping that was all collected right in our drip pan, and the only mess I've got to clean up here is I spilled some pellets down into the grill while I was trying to dump pellets into the tray. So we'll yank these heat deflector shields off of there, and I'll get that out of there, and that's basically all the cleanup we have to do inside this grill. everything's gone well. And like I said, I've just got to get a few pellets out of there. And this grill's done a great job on this, and we'll get to taste the test results here just a little bit. Okay guys, I've let this rest, and I'm gonna yank that bone out of there. Look at that. That's exactly how that's supposed to happen. So let me get this out of the foil. Okay, I've got that out of the foil, and we're gonna have to work quick here because we got flies out here, and I'm just gonna kind of split that guy apart and let you have a look at just how easily this guy comes apart here. It's really just super tender. So what I want to do here first of all is I'm going to grab a little piece of that bark, see what kind of taste we've got going on here. Man, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to get this guy torn apart. Let me have another piece. Let me have a little piece of this inside meat. This is still really hot. I let it rest for 2 hours, and it's still too hot to handle. Let's taste that. Oh yeah. Guys, this is rocking. This is not a typical gas grill cook, as you know, but man, this thing's done a great job. So I'm going to get this broken down. Gonna get it. I like to vacuum seal mine and freeze it so I can reheat it in individual servings. So guys, those of you who are using your gas grills, don't be afraid to try this. Until next time, this is John Setzler with Atlanta Grill Company.